So right now, this is the first dungeon. Let's go over some basics on the skills, how they work. Skills, if you hover, or if you mouse over them, you can see they have two white balls kind of thing, and two like red to the left or to the right. And what those means is you can only use those skills if you're placed on the first or second slot of your party, and they will only hit the first and second slots of the enemy party. Some skills, like this one, as you can see on the top right of the skill I'm mousing over, it has they're both balls, like the both red balls are like connected, which means they will hit both of these at the same time. You don't have to choose between them; they will hit both at the same time, and that's what that means. And so, real quick basics. There are two type of attacks: melee and ranged. Melee and ranged. Their difference is no modifier difference for them, but there are trinkets or other buffs that will buff only ranged attacks or only melee attacks, and there are so you gotta kind of watch out for that. Like over this one, it buffs everything, but there's like the let me see if I can if he has it. He has see the clean guns. Clean guns buff. I'll get over it. The camping skill. Camping will be later. If you use it while camping, all your range accuracy will be increased by 10, all your range damage will be increased by 20%, and your range crit will be increased by 5%. Or, what that means is attacks like pistol shot or drape shot, like those are considered ranged attacks. You can hover over your mouse to see. When you're in a dungeon, you have the map over here, and the inventory. You gotta click and switch between them. You can drag the map with the right mouse button so far. I don't know if they're gonna change that. To me it's annoying, but I'll get over suggestions in another video. You can close, zoom in, zoom out, all that. When you're in a room, those big squares are rooms, the small are highways. When you're in a room, you have to click with your mouse into another one, and then you proceed to that direction. There are obstacles like this one.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Maybe I should lower the narrator, but too late now. Actually, I'll do it. You can press S to bring the menu anytime. I'm gonna like
Rats in a maze.
narration real quick. Into the narration is amazing. What I want now, you can choose between using an item. The middle option is always to use an item. Ignore and interact. This works for all the objects. If you cannot proceed without clearing the rubble. If you use a shovel, you just use your shovel and that's it. If you try to clear off without using the shovel, you take HP damage and stress damage. So for now, oh yeah, I should clear the torch as well. You can bring torches with you, and they would do, they will give you, I believe it's 25 light every torch you burn. And what happens is the more lights you have, well, there's a buff and debuff associated with each level of light. When you have 0 light, for instance, the enemy monster and accuracy is increased. The enemy monster accuracy and damage is increased. They have more chance of surprising you, which means they'll have their turns first, and your party has a chance of going out of position. But you gain more chance to inflict critical hits on them, and you gain more loot. That's the trade-off. If you go with low light, like you can deal critical damage more easily, but the enemy monsters will deal more damage more often. And you also get more loot. So if you like want money, just money, and you want to take a risk, don't bring torches. If you have a highlight, they won't do as much damage, won't be surprised as often, but you won't get as much loot. Also, you take more stress damage. Stress is a mechanic where you can see the white square under them, or this part over here, it shows like 11 out of 100. That's how much stress it has. Once he reaches 11, he will randomly put a debuff on him, or sometimes even a buff, which is very unlikely. Which there's a very various amount of debuffs, but overall it would like increase your accuracy, decrease your damage, sometimes make that character like do whatever he wants, pass a turn, move without you wanting him to. So really having a high stress character is just bad news most of the time. Here's another item that you can interact with. I'm not like gonna be showing all the interactions. It's kind of a spoiler. If you wanna see them like interactions, you can like watch a playthrough or something. I have some videos. I probably will upload more. This is the first encounter. There are two types of attacks that enemies can use on you, or even three actually. There are debuffs, or just status effects overall. There are stress attacks and damaging attacks. The Temptation Goblet is a stress attack. It pretty much splits a little bit of blood on this guy. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it causes a lot of stress to him. And like I said, you don't want to stress characters because it fucks you up pretty much. I'm gonna be going over class skills and stuff. When you see the white light over your head, it means that that's stress reduction. And what that does is, well, you have attacks that increases stress, and you have buffs and stuff that your party can get that reduces stress. Killing an enemy would usually reduce stress of the person doing the killing blow, although not every time, as you just saw there. And doing critical hits against enemies would also decrease your party stress, but if the enemy is dealing critical attacks against you, it will increase the stress instead. So that's the basics of combat, pretty much. When entering a room, you have a chance of scout, or a combat in this case. I wanted to go for a kill, didn't get it. Doesn't matter too much. This guy doesn't really have any attacking moves. I'm gonna go over move sets later. Because right now, when you first start the game, you were pretty much set with whatever the game gave you. So, which means you won't like be able to choose movesets or anything like that. He only has two attacking moves, and both of them hit the back, the two on the back. If there's no one in the back, he cannot attack. That's the thing. But he has buffs. Well, he has this, which moves someone, but cannot do anything to the first character. Nothing he has targets that guy. I'll go over that later. One to get a stun. What a stun will do is once it's his turn, he will skip it instead of getting a normal turn. I should have tried to kill this guy actually. Yeah, I should have tried to kill that guy. So he got a buff, which is a new thing on the new patch. Once you stun something, he gains a little bit of stun resist. This was made to stop people from abusing stun locks, like stunning an enemy over and over again and just like killing your party during that and stuff like that. Well, it's just a patch that was to increase the difficulty a little bit. Pretty fine with. You can pass your turn, but if you do that, you can do two things actually. When you have no attacks to use, you can move your character a position or two depending on the character class, or you can pass your turn. But if you pass your turn, you will take stress damage, and I don't want that, so I'm just gonna move him back. You will effectively skip this turn. So you have a quest every time you enter. You see over here. You can abandon anytime you want. What abandoning will do is you will keep all your loot, but you will fail the quest. If you fail a quest, you don't gain the XP. It comes with it. And XP, I'll get later what XP does. It doesn't really increase your stats as far as I can tell or anything, just allows you to get like better equipment and stuff. Where was I? About the quest. You can see the quest over here. In this case, it's complete 100% of room battles. Like I said before, the big squares are the rooms, so I have to find every room that has a battle on it and kill, like, clear them all. Highway battles are not necessary, only the ones that there are big squares. So like I said before, I got surprised. It moved my party. So now, this attack, he can only use this if he's on the first tree. He's not in any of these, so he can only use the pistol shot, which is the only one that he can, and take aim, which will increase, which is a buff. I'll go for this guy. Try to take him off. Can heal from here. Actually, we're just gonna go mace. Can go forward because you're not gonna be able to do anything against you. So I want her to be able to heal. You can only shoot that guy. This attack only hits the tree on the back. The first one is you can't do anything about. Do try to hit this guy, I guess. So he does something. He will try to go for the skill or just. You also have the bottom. You have here to hit percentage, which is chance of hitting. Here to crit, which is chance of scoring a critical attack, and the damage. As you can see, we'll do between 3 and 8. It is dealt 7, which is close to maximum amount of damage. So you gotta keep in mind, some attacks have like lower accuracy. You can see the accuracy based on every attack you have, and some of them will have like stunts. You just mouse over them and you can see what they do. It's not too complicated. I would like explain better sometime, but right now it's not necessary. I want to have highlight because I want the scout any chance to show what's a scout. Like, we'll interact with this just in case. You can get a scout. I should have moved my party, that's a mistake. You can move while you're like moving your characters the map. I wanna try to bring this guy to the front so I can kill him with this guy. All the way, just go for the kill. This is the amount of characters I had to deal with. Again, this part is about more playstyle than anything. So really feel free to play the game however you want. I'm not gonna teach you how to play the game. I'll talk a little bit about abilities and skill compositions. That will be just more of a guideline than you should do this, or otherwise you play this game wrong, you know? So again, this guy cannot do anything to the front character, so he is not going to. Just gonna move in so he can do something from there. This is one of the attacks of the enemies that can move you. There are a few that can pull, there are a few that can push. In that case, that one also stun him. The color of the resist on the top shows what he just resisted. In that case, he showed yellow and gray resist. The yellow means he resists the stun. The gray one means he resists the being pulled away. This is a scout. Here I can show you. With this, when you get a scout, there are ways to increase your scout chance. One is by having highlights. Some classes have like buffs, and some trinkets have increased chances as well. Either way, what a scout does is it will reveal battles you have on highways. It will reveal walls. This is a wall that you have to use a shovel on. That one is the thing that I use on there. And this is a loot for some kind. Like it's an object you can interact with. You also show what is in the room ahead. In this case, when you show like a gray thing, that it has nothing in there. It has absolutely nothing in it. So I don't need to go there. There is nothing. My quest is to complete 100% of room battles. There's not a battle in that room, I don't need to go there. And in this case, there you can see a little purple web in this. And what this means is there's a trap over here. This is a trap. When you scout ahead and find a trap, you can choose someone and interact with the trap. And you have a chance of disarming it or just triggering it. If you don't scout ahead, you're just gonna run into the trap pretty much. Like I said, there's a chance of getting positives or negatives. There's a chance of getting loot or getting diseases, like all kinds of things. This is a trinket. I'll give it to these guys. Increases the HP. There are very effective trinkets. The nice thing I like about this game, maybe not everyone would like it, is that every trinket has a positive side, but it also has a negative. In this case, it increases HP and but reduces stress resist. So he'll get stressed faster, but he'll have a little bit more HP. So I scouted ahead, I saw there's nothing in this room. Like I can see, there's no battle, nothing to interact with, so I just move ahead. Just click on the room you want to go on the map every time. I don't know if I explained that, I think I did. Fortunate. I got a buff out of that. You can hover over buffs. Did the buffs as well. So whenever you see a up arrow or a down arrow, just hover over it. You can pretty much just mouse over anything. You'll see what's happening. This is a starvation. After a bit of exploring, your heroes will get hungry and you need food to eat them. You don't need, you take damage and stress damage, which means you will increase your stress and reduce your HP. If you do consume some food that you hopefully brought with you, you hopefully will have enough, you will regain some health. If you eat outside of, if you want to like give them outside, you can as well. You just right click on it. Like you click the hero you want and right click on it. That's the same for any item, really. You click on the hero you want and then you right click the item. You got a disease. Pretty much, there's positive and negative traits. I should have gone over this already, huh? Every character has positive traits. Like for this one, Warrior of Light. The light is above 75. Probably know what it is. He gets plus 10 damage. And then he has negative traits. He's prone to stealing hidden items. He would only pray. I'll show that later. He has minus stress resist in a dungeon, and now he gained this, which is less damage and less accuracy. Desperate food, bleed resist. Not allowed to gamble. So, yeah, you can see there are a lot of buffs and debuffs, and each one of them have different effects. I'm not gonna go over everything right now, but and see, that was a trap. It was invisible because I didn't scout ahead. It took a lot of damage, so I want to give him some food before this, because I know, because my quest is not completed already. I know there's combat coming here, so there's gonna be enemies on this. Surprised, which is not good because my party is shuffle. I can use this guy in this position though, so I'm gonna try to put a bleed on this guy. Got it. 2 damage per 3 rounds. This is one of the attacks I pull. Then, as you can see, that's what he just did. He pulled my guy from the back to the second spot. There are attacks that will pull further, there are attacks that will pull one, or push 1 and 1, there are attacks that will pull and push 3, 2. But yeah. Also, it's important to know, monsters, just like you, are limited by... There are skills that don't work from, like... I cannot use those 2 skills, for instance, because they don't only work if I'm on the first 2 spots on the party. Monsters also have that. Sometimes you have like 3 skeletons, and it happens like so the 4th one cannot attack because it has no attacks that he can use from the back. So keep in mind that right now I don't know exactly like every attack, like if all the limitations and stuff like that. But yeah, it's nice to know that what applies to you also applies to them. Once you complete a quest, you get this different symbol over here, the retreat thing vanishes. And it says quest complete, click to exit dungeon. So you just click that and you exit at any time. Except in a battle. You have to quit battles. You can run away from battles as well. So here you see what you gain for completing the quest, what you collected. And then when a quest is completed, you have this screen, which gives you positive or negative traits. You can see how much experience you gain here as well. You can see this is the resolve level, it's called. All the good stuff, pretty much. You gain like this, you can see she gained 2 resolve XP, and that increases her to level 1. Every hero started at level 0. So now I go over buildings and what they do. I like those 2. I'm gonna go over upgrade as well. You can upgrade your buildings to using heirlooms. Those things I collected before I have under here. You use those to upgrade your buildings. So this upgrade over here will, instead of bringing 2 every week, you start bringing 3. You should probably do that actually before you go on your first mission. This upgrade is kinda good to have 3 instead of 2. Early on is really important. Later on you're probably not gonna need it that much, but early on it's nice to upgrade at least this. And you can see that they're stressed out, like I explained before. There's the debuff associated with being stressed out. So some heals, this over here for instance says God fearing, and you have ways of relieving stress on the town. So if I want to like pretty much say this guy over here, I can put him on the bar or I can put him on the brothel. The bar will relieve less stress than brothel, but it's cheaper. So I'll put it on the bar. And this means is he won't be able to go for the next mission, but this bar will decrease, and when it depletes I can like take him without fearing that he will be afflicted by something. Pretty much. This guy has a debuff or a disease, I don't know, they call it quirks. It's a negative one. So his negative quirk means he has God fearing, which means he cannot drink, gamble. There's also a caretaker that always takes a spot on one of the stress relief spots. Cannot go anywhere. So the only place he can go to relieve stress is praying. Like he can only pray. That's all he can do. This is the only way he has to relieve stress. So if this is occupied, he cannot relieve stress. If there's no, as you upgrade them, you can reduce like increase stress recovery, reduce treatment costs, and increase the number of slots. I'm not gonna use this file for anything else. I really don't care about my heirlooms. You should be like more conservative of them, right? Just be sure. This is just for it. So yeah, this is the basics. Quick one, like get new heroes if you need them. You really need them, you're not gonna check them, but if you just have the option, you can just check if they have like bad traits, good traits. Yeah, just do stuff like that. My next video will explain more about the buildings I don't have. I'm gonna go into my older save file, gonna explain about the buildings and about the classes. So until then.